Beth Mount, and I'm inviting you to join me and the TSI community for the end of the day plenary session on Tuesday, that's day 2, at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This session is titled Making Wisdom. What do your hands know? And the purpose is to make some space for you to explore the ideas that are shifting inside of you, touching, moving through you as you integrate the first 2 days of the TSI experience. We will do this together in small and large groups by making something with our hands that represents a change we want to bring to life. And so it's easy to prepare. I invite you to gather an assortment of small objects, not a lot of things. Look around your house, wander around and gather about 10 to 15 small objects to play around with. It only takes about 10 minutes to do this. Don't think about it, okay? Just let your hands pick up whatever you feel drawn to. Go through your trash, your recycling bin, your junk drawer. Pick some things up off your desk. Go to your kids' room and grab some Play-Doh. Or take a walk and find some things outdoors. Just collect just enough and have these things near your computer on Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so please join us. Bring your curiosity. We promise that this hour will be filled with discovery and surprises. You will be amazed. So, see you there. Can't wait.
I was saying earlier that about a month ago, I was doing one of these and I thought I knew where my Play-Doh was. I was just going to use Play-Doh and I couldn't find it at the last minute. So I sit down, I have 1 minute to go, and I just grabbed 10 or 15 things off my desk, everything from, paperclip. Well, it's not exactly fair to, like, I have a lot of things around my desk, right? I mean, like, oh, okay, yeah, I just happen to have a heart, glass heart, whatever. But it's just, it's the spirit of the thing that we have some objects to play with and to manipulate and to arrange and listen to with our hands. So if you don't have those objects nearby, if you just have a piece of paper and a pencil, you'll be fine.
Beth, we're so grateful that you accepted the invitation to lead us in this session. I can remember some early experiences with this, and you're brilliant at it. And I think we have evidence that close to 90 people are deeply curious about this adventure on which you're going to take us. As you said in your intro promo, you'll be amazed. And so we want to, turn it over to you and surprise us, and we're all in.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining. I know it's been an intense 2 days and it's late in the day, and yes, but I like to think that your curiosity has brought you here, and it will land you in a few more conversations with other people in the group. And you will have a chance to create something together, both individually and in a pair and with some other people, that will help you crystallize what is landing inside of you that you're feeling drawn toward to act upon and take initiative around. So I know at this point in the Institute, we still have another day to go, but we're all sort of filled up, right? With every single session has been so rich. And every choice that we've made to go to one meant we had to miss another. And you just can't wait for the recording of that one, right? Because everyone has had the seeds of a future held inside of it. And it will be up to each of us to listen now for the wisdom and ways that insight and possibility is moving inside of us, and how that insight and wisdom wants to manifest in our actions and in our world. And so we'll have each other to help us clarify that and be amazed, because something will emerge from giving yourself the time to be reflective. And so most of our time will be doing this exercise and talking with each other, and a little bit of reflection in the middle, journaling, and then talking to another group of people. And so not only will we be making something that will crystallize an impulse inside of us, but then we'll be offering it to each other. We'll be giving it to each other, and we'll be receiving these gifts that we give. And in doing that, it will strengthen us, right? To keep on and to stay true and to leap over that integrity gap that some of us talked about today, and to do things that we never imagined that we would step into. And so I want to just say a little bit about why this experience is matters, and why it's important that we explore other ways of knowing. And then we have a special guest, DJ Stavio has agreed to bring us to embody a portrait of an artist of social change that is integrating all of these different wisdoms into his own practice. And that's part of what we're exploring and talking about when we talk about other ways of knowing. And then I'll give you some instructions about what we're going to do and how you're going to surprise yourself. Okay, so that's where we're going. And let me just get up our starting place. So as you know, we are making wisdom, and we will be exploring what our hands know. So we will be giving ourselves this 45 minutes or so to turn off our minds and our sense that we got to figure it all out. We're going to let that go and sit in a space of not knowing, and enable and listen to our hands guide us in ways that we will see something, we'll know something in a deeper way. And this work is part of an entire body of work that's associated with, of course, many traditions, certainly indigenous traditions, but also the Presencing Institute, which many of us have been a part of, understanding and learning about a process, a way to think about change called Theory U. And one of the reasons we have been drawn to this way of thinking about change is that it legitimizes other ways of knowing. And that's what we're doing here. We're legitimizing other ways of knowing. And by doing that, we are expanding and validating wisdom that is inherent among all people. So a couple things have been said. I love Simon Duffy's call to us yesterday. We need a whole new world. Well, many people have made that call. And related to that, Esther Ortega and several other people said, yes, and if we're going to build a citizen global network, we're going to build a whole new world. We need new languages. So we need to go beyond just English. We need to incorporate all kinds of languages. And then we look forward to understanding how we expand our intelligence to be inclusive of these three things. So we, of course, value and are paying attention to the intellectual way that we know. And we will continue to take direction and hear what our minds would like to tell us and help us understand. But another way of knowing is our emotional plane. And so it's so interesting in TSI. It's such a relief to hear how frequently people refer to love, right, as an example, as an emotional response, and also outrage and just astonishment that this many children would be buried, without names, and a kind of outrage that moves us to action. And so, as we use all of our intelligences, we're valuing the emotional realm. And then, what we'll be working with in this time is our body knowing, our sense perceptions offer us a whole other way to know. And so, with this as an introduction, I would like to invite BJ Stavio, who is a friend and colleague for the last 25 years. So many of us are, of course, hey, BJ, we're still here. And BJ, to me, embodies a kind of leadership that builds on all three ways of knowing. And I will leave it at that, BJ. I'm going to stop screen sharing so that we can listen and hear from you about some of the novel and innovative, unexpected ways that you support people to use all of themselves in the service of change.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you. Thank you very much for asking me to be with you today. It's always an honor to work with you and continue the fight we fight together. One of the things I realized thinking about today, when I met Beth 25 years ago, I'm not going to age myself, but it was 25 years ago. I had no idea what self-advocacy was, no idea what I wanted for a life, but Beth's words that day when I heard her talk were impactful, and the first thing I did was just take a flyer and go up and introduce myself, and we've been friends ever since, and she has helped me understand what truly being person-centered it's about. It's not telling someone what they need, it's listening to what they really want. Part of the journey is listening and really genuinely listening. And some of the things I've done with some help of people on here is develop a right of the month so people learn about their rights and all that kind of stuff, and just help them learn that they have a voice. As I often tell staff when I train them for my professional job, because I work for an office for people with developmental disabilities in New York State in my professional life, I tell staff it could be something as simple as wanting that different sandwich for lunch. Never forget how simple advocacy can really start. And that's what I had to learn, because I wanted to change the world right away, my little corner of it. But I realized I had to take it slow, gain the allies, gain the support, because nobody can do this alone. We're all interdependent on each other to make our corners of the world better, no matter where we are. And one of the things it's evolved to for me was developing this program that I'm working on, also a book now called The Art of Advocacy. And kind of the impetus for that, was kind of teaching people to be the best advocates that they can be just by teaching them the skills. And one of the best ways for me to tell my story, and when I met Beth, keep in mind, it was 25 years ago, I did not have a single tattoo, most likely. I was in the planning stages of many, but I figured to best tell my life story, because advocacy and helping others has become my drive in life, and that's what I want to do for people. I want to help them have the best lives that they can on whatever level it presents itself. Instead of saying, here's a service, now you have a good life, I openly want to hear what makes their life better and work with them from there. So the 11 tattoos that I have tell my story because, who wants to hear my story all the time? I could say, here's my 11 tattoo story, which Carol Blessing and Beth had great input in helping me put together. I hope to someday do a TED Talk and inspire more people. And TSI has definitely been a refresher for me. I appreciate the refresher to remind me why I continue to do the work that I do. And those of you who know me on here knows the work for me will never ever stop. It'll probably stop at my dying breath, and I'll even probably send a message from beyond the grave, which is kind of shit or get off the pot already, frankly, because the systems, no matter what system we live in, don't want to see people with disabilities succeed. They only want to, in my view, treat them as the billable units that they are. But that's why we're all here for these 3 days to change that culture. We are people, we are human beings, we deserve to be treated as such. And that's kind of my journey, and I will never forget that. So
Oh, thank you so much, BJ. So interesting that even there's so many aspects of the way that you live your life that are so original and unique. And not the least of which is to be mapping your body with tattoos that represent the things that matter to you. Right? Okay, Josh Skolnick. Oh, that's right. Josh is just reminding me your back is like astonishing. Okay, that's not where we're going to go with this, but it could be a tattoo reveal. But the point is this, folks, that symbols are essential to helping us find our way on a journey and help each other, support each other, and to strengthen our courage. Symbols arrive, we receive them, we can make more of them, we can strengthen them, we can share them. We share, even in our friendship and our support, we share strength, courage, and awareness. And symbols are one way we do this. So even this small practice that you're going to do in this next little while is, in a sense, a symbol. It's coming to you from a place that you you're not planning it out, and it has the potential to speak to you. And whether or not you want to make it into a tattoo, that's going to be your business. That's not the point. The point is to discover what it is and what wants to arrive. And so just a few more things before I give some directions and send you off into making something. So we're working with the assumption that before jumping into action, as if what is possible is already known, Theory U encourages a period of sensing by engaging informative and inspiring people and places with an open mind, an open heart, and yes, of course, an open will. So in these last 2 days, we've had a chance to sense and welcome, take in what is outside of us. And now we will maintain and build awareness of how we are experiencing what's possible on the inside. So we're valuing the outside journey and the inside journey equally. And there we go. And our journey looks kind of like this in the U. And we're going to be just experiencing this. First, we're making the space. So many of you are here to do this. You have suspended your judgment, even wondering, what is this? Why are we doing this? You're going to be sensing with your hands and your whole self, perhaps letting go of a place that you're in, maybe that you're stuck or tired of, or just not animated. Presencing, letting something new arrive, letting something come. You will be sharing that with another person, crystallizing, and hopefully after this, perhaps even prototyping. So here we go. Your whole body knows a change that has meaning for you. Some of what your whole body and mind know has not yet found words. This practice invites you to let your hands show your thinking mind what your whole self knows about how things are now and what wants to emerge. And we're going to listen to our hands by making sculptures to crystallize an opportunity to learn by acting. So the way this works is that you are going to make with your objects, your Play-Doh, your pen and paper, whatever you have, you are going to be joining with one other person to begin with. You'll have your own private room and you'll have some time to make a sculpture one, which is your situation now. I'm going to make the invitation really clear in just a minute and you can take a picture of it, okay? So just giving you a big picture. And then you will debrief a little bit with each other and you'll make a sculpture too, and something will move and you will share what the result of that movement is, and you will look for insight. What does this tell you? And you'll be doing this a little bit more, with a little bit more stuff perhaps. And when you break up shortly into pairs, you're going to be working with one other person. You want to take 3 minutes to just greet your partner, discover who you are, where you are, and take a look at whatever stash you've collected. And just share one or two things. And you don't even have to know why you chose them. Notice which ones draw you to share. There might even be some information coming to you from what it is that you pick up first, and you tell your partner, I don't know why I picked up this little, dream wheel, but I did. And I did this really fast. And here's a couple of other things. The other thing you want to do in those first 3 minutes is select a timekeeper, because having a clock or keeping time is important. And be sure that someone has the instructions. And so I'm going to review the instructions now and invite people who have cameras to take a picture of the instructions. So, okay, you will center yourself. This is another example, by the way, mostly using things from trash and recycling. You have a minute to just get organized. Then, so you will take 5 minutes to organize your objects into a sculpture that is your sculpture one. That is how it is now. And you'll do that on your own for 5 minutes. Then you will take turns, 2 minutes each. One person will say, this is what I noticed, what needs to end, and what wants to emerge. Then you have 3 minutes in a solo to rearrange your stuff to make a sculpture two, which is the shift. You'll have 3 minutes for that. And then you reflect 2 minutes each out loud on sculpture two. And you might want to notice, where does the shift start? And what might you do to give life to this emerging future? So in this 20 minutes, you will be doing this with one other person, and give yourself this space to listen in this most unusual way and see what your hands have to tell you. Now, finally, before we get launched into our small groups, if you do have a camera, take a picture of this. We posted the instructions for people who might have noticed, but a lot of people might not have. So if you can, take a picture or screenshot.
Can you screen share again, Beth?
Yes, the instructions will be in the chat. Here they are. Can you see them? Okay, so you are being sorted randomly into your private rooms, and don't worry about how this goes. If it seems a little confusing, just stick with the instructions as best you can. Make a sculpture 1 how it is now, reflect a little bit, rearrange to make a sculpture 2, and see what you noticed from doing that.
All right, Beth, before Bill puts us anywhere, I just want to try and take 1 minute. I just want to try and get your written instructions in the chat.